So we've all had stories in our lives where there's like more than one version of them. In my family, there's a story about one time when my husband Ryan caught a June bug in the house. And then Ryan says that he held it open to show our son Chase. Chase says that Ryan threw the bug at Chase. And so the two of them ended up with this friendly wrestling match kind of after that. Nobody still knows how it actually started, whether it was opening to show the June bug or actually throwing the June bug. There's all these stories in our lives where the truth isn't just hard, cold facts. Sometimes the truth is all about people's perspective. Now, in the story of Luke chapter 15, we see three lost things. First, it's a lost sheep, and then a lost coin, and then there's a lost son. And it shows us the importance of what God's willing to do to go and find lost people. So the story of the lost son, we call it the prodigal son. It's a story about what story is the son going to actually believe. It goes like this. There's a man who has two sons, and the younger one says to the father, "Father, give me my share of the estate." So the father divided his property between his oldest and youngest son. And then not long after that, the younger son went and squandered everything that he had in a distant country. I want to unpack this just a little bit. In this time and in this culture, to ask your dad for your inheritance while your dad is still alive is looking at your father and saying, "Hey, I wish you were dead." In fact, there's so much like, I'm going to act like you are dead. This is a wholly like awful thing to do to your dad. Then the son, he goes off and he tries to like make his own way, and he tries to see if the world is selling something better than what he had when he was with his father, and he spends all of his inheritance. Jesus continues the story and he says, after the younger son spent everything, there was a severe famine in the whole country, and he began to be in need. And so he hired himself to a citizen of the foreign country that he was living in, who sent him out in the field to feed the pigs. And the son longed to fill his stomach with even the slop that the pigs were feeling, but no one gave him anything. Finally, he came to his senses and he said, "Well, how many of my father's hands at least have enough food to spare? And here I am starving to death. I'm going to go back to my father and I'm going to say, 'Father, I have sinned against you and I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Make me like one of your hired servants.'" And so the son decided to kind of go for it. And he got up and he went to go visit his father. And as he's headed back to his father, here are his thoughts. "I am no longer worthy to be a son. I'm no longer significant. I'm no longer important." Surely he's thinking, "I am just damaged goods looking for just a mouth of food to eat." But friends, I know that so many of us have sort of felt this way in our lives, where we've chased something down and it's just ended up feeling worthless or empty. But fortunately, it's not the end of the story. Jesus continues, he says, "But while the son was still a long way off," I love that. It's like he's so far out in the distance, but his father saw him and had compassion for him, so much so that he ran to his son and he threw his arms around him and kissed him. I love this. He was such a far way off. He ran out there and he still hugged and kissed him. The son said to him, "Father, I have sinned against you and I've sinned against heaven, and I'm no longer worthy to be called your son. I'm damaged goods," essentially. And the father said to his servants, "Quick, bring the best robe, put on a ring, get the fatted calf. We're going to celebrate. The son of mine who once was dead is alive again. He was lost and now is found." Now, here's kind of the point of this story. The son actually now has a decision to make. Whose narrative is he going to trust? Whose story is he going to trust? Is it going to be the one that he has lived out these last few months? I'm unworthy, I'm damaged goods, I'm insignificant, I'm not enough. Or is he going to trust his father's story? This is someone who's worth killing the fatted calf for. My son is found. We should all celebrate and rejoice. Is he going to listen to his story or his father's story? And the truth is, we get to make that decision too. Do you listen to the story that is yours or the story that God tells over your life, where God says you are worthy, you are enough, you are not damaged, you are forgiven? So here's my question for you. Do you trust your story or do you trust God's story?